Hi, it's Aunt Nancy again. We are doing a really fun project today. This is my favorite painting that I did about 10 years ago, and it's really not just a painting. It's really a page from a book that I wrote called Grandma Nancy's Cats. This is one of the pages from the book. I'm going to pick out one of the cats and we're going to paint it today. Can you see that real well? I want to do the really tall, skinny, kind of brown cat today. But if you don't want to do the brown cat and you want to make the polka dots a different color, you may do that. So I'm going to go to the other side of my table where I have everything set up, and I'm going to start. First thing always is to get all your supplies ready, and I have mine ready to paint pretty much. You need a few things in order to paint. You have to have, obviously, paper. You need a few things. You need erasers, you need a pencil to draw, you need a couple different size brushes, you need paints. I use these paints today. I use many different kinds of paints. These are just very inexpensive paints I've had a long time. You have to have some kind of container with clean water in it. I use yogurt cups. Often we use a magic marker at the end to outline a little bit. And occasionally in my painting we use salt. I just use my regular salt that's in the kitchen. You should always try your colors on a piece of paper before you put them on your art. Because what if you decide that you don't like the color that you put on your piece of art? Then all of a sudden you're very unhappy. And we don't want to be unhappy when we do art. So let's get going on our cats. Because my cat is tall and skinny. You see how tall and skinny this guy right here is? That means we have to decide to put our paper the tall, skinny way. So we have tall, skinny paper for tall, skinny cat. And first things first, we have to draw our cat. This cat has a long, skinny body. So we draw that like that. He or she, I don't know which. By the way, you can name your cat. I think you should. Has two long, skinny legs. Try and make them about the same length. Paws, of course. And then this cat is looking sideways at us. So we're going to draw the head kind of tilted sideways, like that. That means the ears are going to be in a slightly different spot, right? The eyes are going to be like right here and right here. The nose, I always forget what direction a cat's nose goes in. Oh yeah, it's an upside down triangle, so it's like that. And then they have this cute little, it almost looks like a mustache that comes out of the nose. Now, I have to make sure I'm totally happy with my drawing, and I might not be. Let me see. I think maybe, first of all, I want to erase that little neck spot. I also, I want to make my face the same shape on both sides, and one side's a little fatter than the other, so I'm going to change that. Now, hopefully you can see my drawing here pretty well. Now, once you draw it and you feel like you've got a good drawing, and I'm pretty happy with this one. Okay. Erase any lines that you don't need. Now, what else does the cat have? Look at that picture. This cat has a huge big tail, right? So we got to draw the huge big tail. Tail comes out, tail goes up, and tail goes down. Okay, that's our cat. Of course, next thing is we need to pick colors. We also probably want to draw eyes. And cat eyes are cat eyes really look like this. Inside the cat's eye, it's like that. But the eye itself, the part that's the lid and underneath, is like that. And inside the cat's eye, this part's really, really dark. Now, because our cat is very small, we're not going to see all this inside the eye. But we still want to remember that that's kind of how it looks. And if you would like to make your cat ears a little bigger, you can. I think I'd like mine a little bigger. I'm doing mine a little bigger than that. Okay, I'm happy with my drawing. I've erased anything that I don't like. And now I'm going to pick the colors that I want to paint. Did I mention, very important, never erase with these nasty erasers on the back of the yellow pencil. They will ruin your work. Try and use a pink eraser or this kind of, I guess it's gold. They work much better and they don't ruin your art. So when you're going to paint, you decide what size brush you're going to use and you pick the colors that you're going to paint your cat in this case, and you wet those colors. So I'm trying to decide. I don't know if I'm going to paint my cat green or blue or purple. I'm still thinking about it. I have not really fully decided. So I'm wetting all those colors. I was going to do brown, but I don't think I want to do brown. I think I want to do something more colorful. Look at all the colors of these cats. I mean, purple looks good. The pink polka dot looks good. There's a blue one in there. So you pick your colors. And I'm just going to start. I'm just going to start first with the smaller dots on the head. And because I'm doing the smaller dots on the head, okay, I've decided I'm doing purple. I'm going to do purple. And I'm making, ooh, I don't like how that did it. I'm going to do some small and some bigger. And that's not a very good brush. If your brush isn't doing what you want it to do, get a different brush. I don't like brushes that don't behave. So, oh, this one's much better. Look at how much nicer that's going on. Okay, so some polka dots there. I think maybe I'll make my ears inside just a little bit pink. So I'm using just a little bit of red because when you use red very lightly, that's pink, right? Okay. And then the rest of my ear is going to be the purple. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, I'm happy with that. My polka dots look pretty good. Maybe I want one down there. And then I'm going to put a bigger one on this cheek. As I go down, the polka dots on the cat are going to start getting bigger. And maybe I just want, well, I'll leave that for now. Okay, now I'm going to go down a little further. I'm still doing my purple, right? I'm going to start just doing dots randomly here and there. They're going to be different sizes. The ones on the body of the cat are going to get big. So this guy's pretty big, right? I'm going to put another big one down here. I'm going to put a medium one here. I'm going to put a small one here, maybe another small one here. So I'm just doing dots all over, different sizes. I'm going to put one behind the leg there. All different sizes, big, medium, and small. And I'm going to do another big one up here. You can only see part of the circle of this dot because it kind of wraps around the back side of the body. Let's see, maybe I'll do one here too. Okay. And some of them don't even have to be round. Some of them can be different shapes because not everything on this cat might be round. Some of the dots might be odd shapes. In fact, I like that idea. I'm going to make this one an odd shape. All right, so once we get that much done, we probably should think about putting some of the dots on the tail too. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start here and there. I'm going to start putting some dots, some big, some small, different shapes. Hopefully you're thinking of a name for your cat. I'm not good at names, so I'm going to have a hard time with this. I might have to have somebody help me with that. I have a granddaughter named Violet. Maybe I need to name the cat Violet because she loves cats. I think she's part cat, actually. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me, I think. Maybe I want this one a little bigger, too. Maybe I want that one a little bigger. All right, now, just with a little bit of paint, just so these legs show up, I am going to paint the legs purple, just so they show up, just very gently, a little purple. Otherwise, they're not going to show up very much at all. And then our cat has to be sitting on something, because everything sits on something, right? Except the earth, which floats in outer space. And because our cat sits on something, we can take a little bit of gray or something like that, and we can make a shadow under our cat to indicate the cat is on something, maybe sidewalk or something like that. There we go. So our cat's on a little sidewalk. All right, I think that's looking pretty good. Now, time for the magic marker part. Remember we talked about what the cat eye looks like? That kind of, what would you call that shape? It's not round, the inside of the eye. The pupil is almost like a diamond. For that, I'm just gonna kind of draw a slit of a cat eye up here with black. And I'm gonna draw my nose, and this is with magic marker, and I'm gonna draw this little thing that looks like a mustache on my cat. And cats have whiskers, and so the whiskers come out of these little dots on their face. That's what they grow out of, so I'm gonna put the dots on there. And then while all of my paint is drying, I am going to start outlining my cat in magic marker because it needs a little bit of outline. And just go slow and easy. Try to keep your hands steady, which is really kind of hard to do, but we'll do our best. What happens if we make a mistake? Then we make a mistake. We don't worry too much about that. Art is full of mistakes. We learn from them. Sometimes we fix them, sometimes we can't. We don't know, but we make a lot of them, so there you go. All right, all the way around. There's my cute little ears. Now, I am gonna turn it upside down because it is easier for me to draw this way upside down. You can turn your paper any direction that allows you to paint or draw more easily. So you could turn your paper sideways or whatever. And then here's the top of my cat eyes. Here's the inside of my ears. Look how good that's starting to look. Look at that. I'm gonna give a little outline to my cat's little legs. I'm gonna give him little cat paws. What do we call them? Claws. They're claws. I wanted to say paws. They are paws, but they also have claws. Okay. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna do this up a little further so that they both match. Now, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you may outline your polka dots. If you don't want to, this looks really good without them outlined. So that's up to you. If you want to spend a little more time and outline each one, you do it. If you don't want to, don't worry about it, because this could be finished without the outlining of the polka dots. I suppose we'd call this spots on an animal, wouldn't we? Hopefully you have a cat at home. Maybe you have a dog. I actually am starting a book about a dog too. I have a dog named Daisy. Sometimes when I'm recording a video, she barks and barks, and then I have to put her in my bedroom. So far, so good today. No barking. Okay. Now, when we draw things, I'm going to put my little pink nose in too. When we draw things, at the very end, we decide if we want to put something in the background, okay? Background is optional, but sometimes it's kind of fun. We could decide to put our cat outside, and we could put part of a sun back here. And then we could take some of our brush, and we could just like lightly bring out some rays of sun so our cat's outside. We could decide that we want a little bit of grass under our cat or around our cat, and we do the same thing. We'd put down a little bit of green in this case, so put down a little bit of the color that you want. And then if you take a skinny brush and you already have your watercolor on your paper, you can just make the grass come up just by pulling your skinny brush up like this. Remember, grass doesn't always grow the same way or the same height, so you can make your grass different heights. So if we wanted our cat to be outside, we could do that, and then it would look like our cat was outside. I kind of like that. So cat is done. Last thing we do when we're artists is we sign our name to our piece of art. We let it dry, and then if we want to, you can give it to somebody. You can hang it up in your house. You can do whatever you want to it. After that, it's whatever you want to do with it. Hopefully your cat turned out really well. And hopefully you pick a color you love. I like mine. Join me for another video shortly. Bye-bye.